Well, it's something that you don't think about very often. To win 3 in a row, just to win one is very, very difficult. When we got into this business 20 years ago, it took us a few years to win one, and then it took us 10 years to win 2. So to win 3 in a row, it's a pretty amazing accomplishment, and something that you probably would not think would be humanly possible. When you sit back and reflect on it.
When you take a look at what you've been able to do and put these guys together over the last 3 years, what's kind of the common thread? What really sticks out to you?
Well, I think what happens in this room is the most important thing. I think the guys are together. We've got a good mixture of veterans, young guys. We try to bring 7, 8, 9 new guys in every year so that they can experience what the veterans have, and then eventually some of those guys turn into veterans themselves as the older guys start to retire. So, I think it's learning the system of how we do things here. And the players are taken care of well by tremendous fan support. The organization backs the players in all ways. So, it's just a situation where we try to put together a good, cohesive organizational plan, and then hopefully things fall where you want them to fall. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
When you take a look at the landscape of minor league hockey, obviously it's somewhat in flux. What do you see as the future for the Komets?
Well, it is in flux. Minor league hockey right now is probably one of the least desirable investments to make if you're looking at getting into the sports business. But what we're trying to do is create some sort of geographic situation to cut down on cost within the IHL. We're in some very, very bad economic times in Michigan, in some of our marketplaces in Port Huron and Flint, and of course Muskegon is leaving the league. So I think the best recipe for this is for all the leagues to be able to get together and take the strength from each league and try to build something that will have some staying power. So, that's our goal. We're in discussions not only with our teams in our league, but also discussing the future with all of the other leagues as far as their longevity and how maybe we can all get together and make something good happen.
Do you see an IHL without the Komets? Could that happen?
No, absolutely not. If the IHL is playing hockey next year, the Komets will be right in the middle of all of it. That's without question. That is our number one goal, and we just need to make sure that we see that through. If we can't see that through, then it will be as a group. The IHL teams will do something that makes sense for each individual market and for the fans within those marketplaces, things that the fans want to see. And I think this is a good template in Fort Wayne to show the other markets how you want to run your hockey business at the minor league level.
Do you feel like possibly absorption of old ECHL teams could be a possibility?
Well, I don't think there would be an absorption of ECHL teams. Probably it would be a situation whereby maybe you join ranks with the ECHL teams or CHL or whatever. It's a very, very up in the air stage that we're at right now with everything. The big thing is that we just have to make sure that everyone is on the same page from our league standpoint, which we are, and then looking out at the other leagues and saying, okay, if we can't move forward as the IHL next year, what is the next best thing? So the big thing that I want to stress to the Komet fans is that irregardless, when October comes next fall, worst case scenario, which has been a great scenario for us, will be in the IHL. And maybe best case scenario is some of the leagues will get together and we'll form maybe what is the best league that maybe fans have ever seen. So, one way or the other, the level is not going to go down, and I really, really believe that the fans will be in for a real treat next fall.
And when you take a look at the roster, obviously, some of these guys have been around for a while, the Colin Chalks, the PC Druins, the Kevin Bertrams, the Guy Dupuis.
Right.
Everybody wants to know what the prognosis is long-term for these guys and for next season. How do you change what you're doing, or how do you make it work?
Well, I think it's important. Each year you need to make some changes, and with those changes will be, a veteran or two will leave, and some new people will come in, and that's just, that's the transition that needs to take place just about every year. I think we brought in 7 or 8 new guys this year, and I probably would say we'll bring in another 7 or 8 new guys from next year for next year's team. So what that means is that in the course of 2 years' time, you're going to lose 8 to 10 guys guys that were here 2 years ago. So, and that could include some of the guys that are on the team this year. So, that's just the way this business goes. I do anticipate there'll be a few of the guys on the team that will retire. They won't play any longer. There will be guys that may decide to try the higher league in the American League and get an opportunity there. And there may be some European departures this year too, where they'll go play in Europe. So, we'll sift through it all, and come the middle of July, we should have a real strong game plan as far as who's coming back and who's not.
Because of the economic framework and the talk that maybe the IHL will cut down on the number of veterans that are allowed on the roster season, does that make it more difficult to kind of make those decisions? I know you don't want to force anybody's hand.
Right. Well, it's, we probably will cut back some veterans. Matter of fact, that's already been taken into account, but we'll still have more veterans than any of the other leagues at the AA level. So that will allow us still that flexibility to bring guys back that we want to bring back or bring new people in. But it's not just about the veteran players anymore. I mean, we've seen what the Kaylee Schrocks and the Brandon Warners and the Frankie DeAngelis and the Sean O'Connors have done for this organization over the last few years. And a guy like Leo Thomas has probably become one of the most popular players within the Komet organization. Matt Sirazinski, so there's a lot of the guys that maybe aren't household names right now that as time goes on will become the new Guy Dupuis, Colin Chalks, PC Druins, and just as those guys became the new Colin Chins and Len Thornsons and Robbie Irons from the years gone by. So, that's just the way this goes, and one thing that we always hope is that a lot of these guys stick around after their playing career and make Fort Wayne their home, because right now there are over 60 former Komet players that live in this marketplace and are raising families or have raised families, and some are now retired.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I just want to say thank you to all the Komet fans this year. The tremendous support that we've gotten this year, over 350,000 fans, really per capita of population, probably the best attendance in all of minor league hockey when you figure out how many people live in this area. So we're very thankful to the Komet fans, to the players, and it's just been a wonderful year, and we'll try to come back next year and go for 4 in a row.